Good afternoon, folks. My name is Jared Rivers, and I am the Senior Associate Dean and Director of Access for the Bates College Admission Office. And I've been with the Bates office, admission office for the past 10 years, but I've been in the field of admissions for the past 20 years. Let's jump right into this. So Bates College is a small private liberal arts college that was essentially founded by a group of idealists way back in 1855. They were essentially abolitionists. So the folks who were fighting to abolish slavery in the Americas are the same people who founded Bates College. So that sense of inclusion has really been there since day one. In fact, Bates was the first co-ed college in the New England region, so they were actively recruiting women and students of color when that was considered a radical thing to do. So when you think of Bates College, again, that sense of inclusion should really be at the forefront of your mind, okay? We have about 1,800 students. They come from all 50 states and about 70 different countries around the world. Of course, we are located in Lewiston, Maine, which has about 35,000 full-year residents. However, we have a twin city by the name of Auburn, Maine, that has another 25,000 full-year residents. So combined, about 60,000 full-year residents surrounding Bates College, making that the second largest urban area for the state of Maine. It's about 45 minutes north of Portland, which is our largest urban area for the state. And I say urban, but for a lot of you, if I'm really being transparent and honest, it's going to feel more suburban than it does urban, okay? But what you have to understand is that for the state of Maine, we have about 1 million people total, and about 50% of the state's population resides in a 30-mile radius from the Bates campus. So for our state, it's a fairly densely populated area. It's also true that our students make the most of the surrounding area, and they make the most of all that we have to offer. What you're looking at here is known as Alumni Walk. And you're just sort of seeing the students. It's a very busy place on campus, certainly in between classes. But again, we have a very active community, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for students who want an engaging experience both in the classroom and outside of the classroom. And so nearly 50% of our courses have service learning components built into them. And so you're going to have your typical lectures, you're going to have your typical classroom discussion-based courses, but you're also going to have ample opportunity to apply a lot of the things that you're learning right there in the immediate area, okay? We certainly feel like that makes the education itself a little more exciting. It also plays into the fact that Bates is the top Fulbright producing college in the country, having produced nearly 100 different Fulbright scholars over the past 5 years alone, okay? That has everything to do with it being a very personalized undergraduate education. Our students working with world-class faculty. There are no graduate students at Bates, and so the focus is on undergraduate education, looking to prepare you for that next phase in your life, whatever that might be. While I'm thinking of it, we have a 97% post-graduation placement rate within 6 months of graduating from the college. And that's with over 90% of our graduates reporting back to us. So we know that you'll be highly employable and highly admissible to things like graduate and professional school. Now, in terms of the academics, there are 36 different majors, nearly 30 minors, and approximately 75 different concentrations. What exactly does that mean? Our majors are typically clusters of 10 to 12 courses that you'd be required to complete. Our majors are clusters of 6 courses, and then our concentrations are clusters of 4 courses. Those concentrations in many cases can lead to minors, and those minors in other cases can lead to multiple majors. What you need to understand is that we don't admit to our academic programs, we admit to Bates College. And once you're an admitted student, you can go in any direction you would like with all of those academic programs that we offer. Okay, so it's not like you have to jump over hurdles or through hoops to get to the most popular majors at Bates. Which, by the way, the top 5 today would be economics, psychology, politics, mathematics, and environmental studies. Okay. So we have this program called a major plus one. And so it really helps to ensure that you've studied in multiple areas. All of our students have to complete a major, but they all have to complete something else that will complement that major. So pursuing perhaps one of those 75 concentrations, or pursuing one of those 30 minors, okay? So a lot of our students come in with multiple interests, which makes sense. We're a liberal arts college. And again, you have that freedom and that flexibility to really shape your own academic pathway based on your particular academic interests. Now, we don't have a core curriculum that every student completes. And we're not completely wide open either. We're sort of somewhere in the middle of those two extremes. And we require our students to complete a series of general education courses. We would never want you to graduate from Bates without enhancing your writing skills or without taking a math course. So you are required to take one math course before you graduate, one science course before you graduate, one laboratory course. We're not going to tell you which courses in those areas to complete. So again, you have some freedom and flexibility. There's one social science requirement and also one creative arts requirement, okay? That really helps to ensure that you've had coursework in those foundational areas as well. Now, something that separates us from other institutions is that we require our students to complete a senior thesis within their major in order to graduate. Right. Now, by the time you get to that point in your Bates education, we will have provided you with 3 layers of advising. You see the first year seminar here. The first layer of advising comes with that first course that you take. It's a writing course designed to enhance your college writing skills and your public speaking skills. That professor is your very first advisor. Once you declare a major, we'll provide you with a second layer of advising from that academic department. In your third, most cases, final layer of advising will come in with that senior thesis in your senior year, okay? Now, our students take 4 courses per semester, and in your senior year, one of those 4 courses is your senior thesis, okay? But the point is that you have lots of academic support as you move through your Bates experience. I'm probably running short on time, but short term, we have somewhat of a unique academic calendar. You literally will come in the fall and you'll take 4 classes. You'll go home for Christmas break for 4 to 5 weeks, and you'll come back for that second semester and you'll take another set of 4 classes. We then ask our students to stick around for 2 out of the 4 years to complete what we call short term, which historically has been a 5-week term where you take just 1 course. We had to do away with short term during the 2 COVID years, but when we got back to short term a couple of years ago, we trimmed short term down to a 3.5-week term, okay, where you take just 1 course. And so I have to tell you, it's very, very popular. Most Bates students will actually do 3 short terms before they graduate, okay? We cap them at 3, so you can't do 4. I'd say about 60% of our students are doing 3 short terms, though. So again, very popular, some of which go abroad as an entire class. Theater courses going to London to study Shakespeare, environmental studies courses going to China, lab courses going to the Galapagos Islands. An extension of what I was talking about earlier, learning by doing. And so Bates has recognized that clearly learning takes place beyond its borders. So, I mean, campus life, again, we're looking for a robust experience for our students. So this sort of underscores your extracurriculars. I'd say that's the area of your application that kind of moves the dial with the admission committee. 75% of our applicants are academically admissible. But we want to understand, what kinds of talents and skills and passions and culture and diversity in every dimension of that word that you're going to bring with you to our campus. And knowing that, that should help you understand why our campus is such a vibrant community, because we're really screening for that. So don't take that portion of the application lightly. Again, I think it has gained more and more weight over time in the admissions field. I'm going to probably blaze through this. Again, I think I'm running short on time. Again, we want a very engaged experience. If students are going to get involved throughout our community, the Harwood Center creates lots of these community partnerships, but every athletic team, every student-run club and organization, of which there are over 100, has a community liaison attached to it, with hopes that they can connect that club or that team to some aspect of the Bates or of the Lewiston Auburn community. Okay. Purposeful work. It's not our goal to just help our students get a job when they graduate, but rather help them find that meaningful work or that purposeful work. The work that I'm doing here today, I've been doing for the past 20 years, that I can come and sort of do a 15 to 20-minute presentation and potentially be a part of this college search that you're going through. Is very meaningful and purposeful work that I'm doing, which is why I've done it for 20 years. And so that's what we're aiming to do with our students. Again, 97% post-graduation placement rate within 6 months of graduating from the college. NCAA Division III, our coaches would tell you that it's the most competitive Division III NCAA conference in the country. We compete against schools like Amherst, Williams, Wesleyan, Middlebury, Tufts, Hamilton, Trinity, Conn College, Colby, and Bowdoin would be our big in-state rivals. Applying to Bates, you're going to use the common application or the coalition application. I won't go into too many details here, but I will say and be very transparent that we are admitting upwards of 50% of our incoming class each year through our 2 rounds of early decision. It's closer to maybe 35% for ED1, maybe another 20% for ED2, and about 45% of the remaining class comes through regular decision. You need to put some thought into when you apply to selective schools, knowing that so much of the class is coming through those early rounds. There are literally hundreds of applicants in the early rounds versus 7,000 applications in regular decision, where we have a 10 to 11% admit rate. Just a few statistics here. Overall admit rate about almost 14%. 29% of our students self-identify as students of color. First gen, 12%, meaning neither of their parents completed a 4-year undergraduate education. We shoot for an overall class size of about 500 students a year. We shoot for 520, but it melts down to about 500. We have a 60-40 non-New England, New England split. So in most cases, home is too far to go for our students on the weekend. So it's not a campus that empties out every weekend. Bates will meet 100% of financial need. The average student indebtedness is just over $13,000 after being on financial aid for all 4 years. So this is a tremendous investment in yourself, one that will lead to a 97% post-graduation placement rate, and you're not going to be drowning in student debt. With that said, I think I will stop there and see if there are any questions that I can answer. I do see in the chat, you mentioned the alumni walk. How do the Bates alumni typically engage with your undergraduate students? We have what is called the alumni conversation. We no longer offer interviews. But demonstrating your interest is really huge for us. Okay. You know, the first thing that we see when we open up your application is this thing called the dashboard. And on that dashboard, the computer spits out all the major contacts that we've had with you. And so you want to get on the mailing list. Once you get on the mailing list, open our emails, you know, and you'll discover and learn more about Bates that way. Poke around our websites a little bit. We can see all of that information. By the way, other colleges can see that information just like we can. You need to know that so that you can put your best foot forward. That demonstrated interest only plays a role in the last application round, in that regular decision round. There's no better way to demonstrate your interest than applying through our early rounds, which is a binding agreement. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful. But yes, if you register for the alumni conversation, we'll put another contact code right there next to your name every time we make contact with you, and that all appears on that front page of that dashboard. Okay. Many veterans plan to apply to MBA programs in law school after completing their undergraduate studies. Can you tell us a little bit about the success your students see as they seek admission to highly regarded business and law schools? The past 2 years, we've had a 99 and 100% admit rate to law school for those students who complete our pre-law track. Popular areas of study on the Bates campus with pre-law interest: politics is one of our top 5 majors. You might also check out rhetoric. Bates has an amazing world-class debate team. We oftentimes find ourselves in the world championships for debating. Clearly, debating can lend itself to a legal or law career. And a lot of those debaters make their way to rhetoric. We've also heard from many of our surveys that some of Bates students' favorite courses were in the rhetoric major. Okay, so you might check that out. But we're seeing lots of success, you know, post graduation at Bates. And I don't have a specific percentage for business school, but economics is our most popular major, and we're a nationally ranked liberal arts college every single year. So I would say that that's going to speak volumes to any MBA program that you're going to apply to. And I think you'll see a lot of success there as well. I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for the questions, and thank you so much for spending a little time with me. Okay.